Jason? Do you have to go today?
We play every Wednesday Eve.
Did you pay the gas bill yesterday?
I thought you put that in the mail.
I said I'd wait to see how much money you brought home.
Well, I don't have any patience again today. I will put it in the mail at lunch. Do you have any severance money left?
Yeah. A couple hundred. I was thinking of saving it for Sky's crib.
Hey, good thinking, sweetie. Because Logan's gonna need a good crib.
Are you sure you can't stay?
I'm already late, babe. Everything's gonna be okay.
You got lucky on that one.
Having some good luck today, man.
Well, I would too if I kept faking out a half-blind guy at his bad side.
What, you really gonna play the cripple card?
I'm just saying, you wouldn't be half as good if I was twice as sighted.
All right, man. All right. No more fakes for the rest of the day. Man.
Game point.
You see me?
Oh,
See me?
oh, you think that's funny?
See this.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Oh, what's up now? See, that's game.
Get out.
That's game, buddy. So, how's Evie?
She's good, man. She's good.
Yeah? Yeah?
She's good.
That didn't sound convincing.
Well, she's pregnant, man. How would you be?
Luckily, I'll never have to deal with that.
I don't know, man. It's been little hard for her since she stopped working. It doesn't really help that I'm not bringing in much. I took a loan out from her dad last week.
I didn't know you were hurting that much.
Neither did I. This is it.
One more. Oh, there you go.
Fine.
Well, listen, if you need some money, let me know.
No, we're good. I'll be fine. Business ought to pick up soon. I just had my brochure sent out on Monday, so I ought to see some business from that. And the weather ought to get shittier soon. So.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Dr. Jason Pyatt, suicide preventer. Well, all right, well, you know, let me know.
Thanks.
I will. I know you got a lot of competition in this town.
Yeah, but they're all 80. I figure I got another year of struggling, and they'll croak and give me their business. But how about you, man? How's class?
You know, it's, sometimes I feel like I'm teaching the future stars of America's Most Wanted. I mean, you got the gangsters on one side, the nerdy white kids on the other, and the Asian mafia sprinkled everywhere.
Shit, man. Shouldn't you be carrying?
Oh, I do.
You serious, dude?
Hell yeah, I'm serious. I carry every day.
No, man, I guess I would too under the circumstances.
Hey, man, I already lost this eye. I'm gonna do what I can to save the other one.
Yeah.
No, they're really smart kids, though. They seem pretty involved so far.
It's a cool class.
Hey, they relate to it, you know? You're teaching a group that's made up of 70% delinquents about social issues and violence. They have a lot to say.
Yeah. Hey, we still on for after work?
I believe that's the only thing on your schedule.
Oh, touche, huh?
I mean, if you're sure that it's all right with Evie if she doesn't want to come.
Oh, she's fine. I'll see you at 6:30.
Sounds good.
All right. I'll see you later, Teach.
I'll see you then.
Bye.
You keep that lisping to a minimum, all right?
All right.
Hello. Thank you for calling Dr. Jason Pyatt's office. Hello. Thank you for calling What's up? This is Jace. Really busy. Holla back.
Dr. Pyatt?
Yeah, can I help you?
You can.
This is Darnell. Sorry, I didn't realize it was you.
That's all right, Dr. Pyatt. How is everything?
Yeah, things could be better.
Work is slow.
Yeah, all week.
Yeah.
How have you been? What can I help you with?
Well, just wanted to see a familiar face. Talk to someone I could trust. Speaking of which, I Found this on a newsstand. Good picture. Yeah. But I just don't know if I can trust someone that uses balloon font. Especially like
Tell me, please.
dedicated to you happiness.
Dedicated to your happiness.
No, you happiness.
That's brilliant. Well, I got your attention, didn't it?
Yes, sir, you're right. Effective, very effective. Do you have some time for a very tired old man?
Yeah, of course. Come on in. You want a red hot?
No, thank you.
You got a first hour free.
Ooh.
Can I offer you anything?
No, I'm all right.
Wow, make yourself comfortable.
I'd like to sit here if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you came in today. Didn't have anybody else on the books, and, ooh, it's nice to see a familiar face. Mind if I record this session?
That's fine.
Thank you. So when was our last session?
It was June, I believe.
That long?
Yeah.
Mr. Darnell, I gotta tell you, you're my best customer.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you that I'll be leaving town for a while. I just came by to talk to a good friend one more time.
Well, the day is yours, sir.
Good, good.
So, what do you want to talk about?
Well, today is a very important day for me. I suppose at my age, every day is important.
Sure.
You know, there's a lot of questions in life that you can't answer until you've lived as long as I have.
Well, that's why we're here.
Yeah.
I'd like you to consider me a friend.
Oh, I do, I do. You know, I really appreciate all the talks we've had, you know, your patience in our conversations. I know I've been a bit coy about my past, really my life.
I wouldn't judge you. You can count on that.
By my age, you cherish trust. It's harder to find someone who'll really listen.
Well, certainly, Mr. Darnell, you have more than just me.
A young man like you know, he knows what he wants in life. Dreams, goals, places he'd like to go, things he'd like to see. But you never really believe it until it actually happens. Dreams fade with age, and they're replaced with the harsh reality of what life brings to the table. I waited for that time. I had a wife, responsibilities, a career. But my imagination got the better of me.
So, you had a difficult time with life's little demands?
No, there's supposed to be something more, something I hadn't seen, but had to see. But my life as I knew it would never allow me to see it.
Did you ever find that? Take your time.
Have you ever looked up at the stars and wondered?
Yeah. Always.
I wondered too. I was fascinated by the universe. Space-time. Are we alone? What happens next? I wondered so much I felt like nobody saw what I did.
Like you're a man in the world, beneath the world.
Yes, exactly.
Of course. I felt like that often. But it's all in the manner I feel. Perception is a powerful thing. You've traveled a lot in your life.
Oh, yeah.
When I was in school, I had the opportunity to visit the Louvre. I wasn't really into art galleries, not until I saw this one painting. Most people wouldn't give it a second glance. It's not as vast or as detailed as many other, paintings in that gallery. My friends dismissed it immediately, but I didn't.
What's its name?
The painting?
Yeah.
It's called Nude Youth Sitting by the Sea. I'll never forget it.
I remember it.
You've seen it?
The Penitent Man.
It's all perception.
Exactly.
My friend saw a man sitting on a cliff. But I saw something so much more. His tortured soul.
Why do you think he sits there like that, with his head buried?
I always felt he was suffocated, stuck in a way. Like he wanted to look forward, wanted to see the future, but he couldn't. He couldn't know what was coming.
Why do you feel suffocated, Dr. Pyatt?
Isn't this your session?
Forgive me.
No. Don't worry. Maybe you're right.
What if the boy by the sea is not angry at the road ahead? What if it's the road that came?
Not sure I follow.
What if he's haunted by things he cannot change?
Does something haunt you?
Something haunts all of us.
Let's go back to what you were saying earlier. You said there was something missing, something you couldn't see but wanted to see. Let's go back to that.
I don't think it's something many people could accept.
Well, it's my job to understand.
Yes, I know it is. And I'm sure you'll do your best not to think I'm crazy. I never intended to follow science into anything more than a hobby. But I was curious. Why things happen the way they do, those questions that no one can answer. But one day I understood. It was as if all the forces in the universe had come together in that one moment in space and time to deliver an answer to me. All those things we cannot change but wish we could. Something reached out and spoke to me, and I understood. To all those that wish they could see the beginning of time, to all those that had dreamed of witnessing the first man climb out of the primordial slime, finally they could. Since H.G. Wells has been one of the greatest mysteries and fantasies in human history, but not anymore. I'd been given the secret. And it was so simple.
I have a hypothetical for you.
Shoot.
What if somebody came to you and said, Ovid, I could take you back to the moment your classroom was hit, to the moment you were injured? What would you do?
I'd call the cops.
I'm serious.
What are we talking
You
about
just
here?
humor me?
I think he was crazy.
But what if it were possible? I mean, wouldn't you take that opportunity to set things right?
Set things right? You mean save my eye? Avoid the bomb somehow?
Yeah.
My life would be different. When you were a kid, you see that crazy guy walking down the street with one arm. You point, you stare, you whisper to your friends about him. Well, when you become the subject of those stares, it really turns the tables.
So, hypothetically.
Hypothetically, if I could go back and save my eye somehow, sure, it'll make my life easier.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't do it. And changing what happened would change my life and everything I've done with it. I mean, teaching overseas during the wars, all those kids, who knows where they would be?
Okay, you're right. Well, who knows? You could have gone on to do other great things.
Let other men do other great things. I think I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, but I guess it'd be impossible to know.
All right, let me put it to you. What if your dad hadn't died when you were a kid?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but don't you think his death defined who you are?
Yeah, in many ways.
If you could go back and save his life somehow, do you think you'd be doing what you're doing?
With business as it is, maybe I shouldn't be.
Come on, man. I'm just saying, our lives make us who we are. And who knows if you'd be doing what you're doing? Who knows if you'd have got a chance to?
I guess if my dad was still alive, I could have always become that secret agent I always wanted to.
All right, man, you asked for my opinion. I'm just giving it to you.
No. You're right. Thanks, man. How's that sandwich?
Oh, it's awesome. Your salad good?
Nah, not really.
See? Everything happens for a reason.
So, just to clarify, you're telling me that you're from...
Yes.
And you discovered some way to...
Yes.
Well, I'd be very interested in hearing it.
No, I'm sure you would. My secret's worth a lot.
Well, we are under doctor-patient confidentiality.
I know.
Nothing you can say can leave these walls. I encourage my patients to be as open as possible.
Assuming that you really want to keep your practice.
Right.
Do you?
Excuse me?
Do you wish to keep your practice? Do you enjoy what you do?
Of course. This is my life. I try to help people like you.
Why do you feel a need to help other people?
I believe you walked into my office today.
Do you take the time to help yourself?
Are you trying to put me on the couch?
I'm sorry. I meant no disrespect.
No. That's fine. Let's get back to your story.
Yeah, you're right.
Can you describe how the answer came to you?
How is not as important as why.
Okay. What motivated you?
Surely there are things in our lives we wish could be changed. When you get older, however, you grow comfortable in the way things turned out. That was not the case for me, Doctor.
I see.
Some of the worst crimes against humanity are done with the best intentions. This was the greatest find in history, and it was bound to revolutionize the way people lived, the way they thought. By sharing it, not only did I think it would be a great leap in science, but we'd be enhancing the world with pure, unadulterated knowledge. But knowledge is nothing without understanding. I made a few calls. The reaction was immediate. As you can imagine, it was much like yours. A swift nod and a quick dismissal. I was nobody. I was not part of the well-established scientific community. I got the government to listen. They brought me deep inside, surrounded me with the world's great scientists. Not the ones you hear about. They studied my work, cross-examined my calculations. It was real. Before I even had a chance to think about it, the government was at my door, offering me the biggest check I'd ever seen. I was young, inexperienced. The amount of zeros on that check could have fixed a small country. And they calmly slid it across the table to me.
So you took the money?
It was one of those moments when you're presented with two roads. If I'd known the road that I chose, would I have made the same decision? I would like to think no.
So what happened after you took the money?
I spent some. Bought a new house, car. Well, life was great. I was the most famous scientist in the world, and I never even considered myself a scientist. There was newspapers, magazines, and talk shows, and movie premieres, and everyone knew my face. But really quickly, in a couple of years, it went public. You cannot contain human curiosity. Everyone's always looking for the next great leap in technology, and this was it. Got a question? Some time will give you the answer.
Yeah, I do have a question. So how does this thing work? Anybody can just travel back?
No, that's not what I intended. You can't just give anyone the power to actually go back. Think of the ramifications of that. What I envisioned was more like a window in time.
A window? Like what? Like a big screen where you could just see history on it?
Overly simplified, yes. Once it was released publicly, people could see any time they desired without directly affecting past events. It was the only way to keep it safe. So we thought.
So theoretically, anybody could see anything.
Think about it as memory recall. Everyone has experiences they can revisit even vividly. Now imagine events in time as memories for the world in the space-time continuum. I discovered a way to harness that.
Now, you mentioned being able to see the creation of man. I mean, you'd have seen humans assemble, develop their gods, and destroy each other. I mean, Jesus Christ.
He was just a man. Imagine the devastation from a revelation like that. 95% of the world's population believed in a God in some form. The scientists and politicians, and eventually the public, were able to go back and see the Christian Son of God as a mortal man. It shook the foundations. Even atheists began to lose hope for the future. Southern evangelists began lashing out violently at anybody who supported the new discovery. The world was more divided than ever. The road to hell had been paved with good intentions, and it was just the beginning.
Well, what happened? Some kind of big war? Or...
Once the technology was simplified, the government went to a few large corporations to develop it for high-end consumer use. They figured it was a great way to build the world economy, like commercial missions to the moon and Mars. They figured they could make a lot of money, and they were right. Only the most wealthy could afford it at first, but with any new technology, price decreases with time. People were going back to the beginning. They were peering into new dimensions of space and time, looking for positive proof of evolution, the origins of man, the mythic stories from ancient Greece. It spread like wildfire and informed civilization as we know it.
If this technology existed, we could learn everything.
Everything.
I mean, think of what we could do, what we could accomplish with that.
All the things we could accomplish. I used to think like that when I was your age. But like I said, my imagination got the better of me. Civilizations come and go. People live and die, all for a reason. These things I listed, they are times and places we were never meant to see. Some, including myself, argued that human progression was as natural as time itself. So we proceeded. All of society's mysteries and questions could be answered. I spent so much time concentrating on the fallout from travel that I never considered the ramifications of viewing. Men would look back and find the secrets their government was hiding from them. Why are the Kennedys being killed? 2 brothers, a son. Scholars would look back at the savage nature of European settlers who stole the country from Native Americans. The truth divided us and individually armed us. The world lost faith not just in God, but in everything. Anarchy replaced order. Crime, corruption, destruction took over. No one was afraid of anything anymore. No more questions, no more beliefs. And all because I couldn't see down that road.
Time viewing, huh? But you're not actually viewing me. You're here. You're actually sitting right here, so how is that possible?
You don't believe me?
It's not my job to believe you, but I want to understand. So you created this amazing technology, but not now, sometime in the future. And that technology only allows you to see. So how are you here?
I want you to understand why more so than how.
Okay, you got to understand that as a man of reason, the things you're telling me are all impossible to accept.
I understand.
I've studied all this. I've fantasized about it. I mean, most scientists, people like Albert Einstein,
Hawking.
Stephen Hawking, they don't even believe like something like this is possible. Yet you're sitting here telling me that you're actually living proof that it exists.
Yes, I am.
The idea of taking a man or a woman from one time and putting them to another that already happened, there's just so many questions that arise from that.
I was as skeptical as you are when I began.
Okay, one of the biggest issues that comes up right away is causality. So if you change something in the past, then...
The grandfather paradox is something we all debated for a long time. If Jimmy goes back into the past and kills his grandpa, will Jimmy or his family ever exist?
Right. So
I came to two conclusions about time. Many theories existed, but now I could eliminate the arguments that travel wasn't possible, or that only forward travel was. I did tests and experiments that led me to two possibilities. Either time was circular, constant, or when you went back, it would create an offshoot.
Like a separate timeline.
That's right, a new branch of time, moving forward, parallel to the original, with its own events and outcomes.
So which is it?
A definitive answer to that question is close to impossible. Even if Jimmy goes and kills his grandfather and wipes out his whole family in the process, does time ultimately find its way to the same outcome? Or is it set in a new direction, a new course? Or does the original future coexist with the separate timeline that Jimmy created? Or does Jimmy fail? Maybe if Jimmy tried to do something as significant as kill his grandfather in the past, time or fate would not allow it. The gun would jam, or a bird would get in the way.
I don't understand. So, if you're from the future, theoretically a time far after Jimmy would have killed his grandfather, wouldn't you see the changes it made?
It's not that simple, Doctor. Firstly, only the traveler would ever know. If time had changed, we would never experience it. To us, Jimmy never existed.
Okay, well, what if somebody went back and killed Hitler?
What if Hitler was killed?
What?
What if originally Hitler was killed and someone went back and changed it, kept him alive? To us, we would remember it as our history, as if it always happened. Many people believe that time eventually corrects itself. If Hitler was dead, someone would likely step up and take his place. And God mercifully never have to test that theory.
Yeah, but you can't.
I guess so.
You being here brings all that into question. I need a drink, man. You want a soda, scotch, water, what?
A glass of water would be great, though. So what's the diagnosis, Doc?
Well, you are either crazy, a very, very accomplished pathological liar, or you're telling the truth.
Does it scare you if I am?
I think regardless of what happens now, there'll always be that curiosity. I mean, I can safely say I've never seen anything like this before.
Good. That's all I could hope for.
Guess what I still don't understand is how you're here. Or if there's some other reason why you're here. Is there?
It's all about causality. The only remaining question for our species is fate. Can we change our path? Or is it always set? I didn't know if coming here would accomplish anything. But I know if I didn't try to talk to somebody about what I know, it would add to the long line of regrets that I keep with me. Maybe fate does exist. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's our destiny to live with the mistakes I've made. Or it could be my destiny to change them.
Or maybe our sessions have just been leading up to this moment.
That's why I came back, Dr. Pyatt. Just for the possibility.
I'm gonna force myself to remain skeptical as a sane man would, but with that being said, I still gotta know more.
Did you ever wish you could change things?
Of course. I don't think you're ever gonna be alone in that.
There was a time when I lived to help other people, like you're doing. You can go to bed at night with a clear conscience. You wake up in the morning knowing that you're trying to make the world better. You can do that every day. I had that once. But it came with a cost.
Did you begin to feel like your discovery made you feel isolated somehow?
Oh, yes, I did. But I had to lose everything before I saw that.
If you don't mind, what is everything?
My friends, my family mainly. After a while, I pushed them away. But not by choice.
They didn't see what you did?
No. This time I didn't see what they did. Who would have guessed that I'd be rewarded for opening Pandora's box? I was once revered. Now I was hit with backlash. If there was one singular cause that united people, it was hatred over what I had done.
How did that make you feel? Was that painful?
Of course. But it was not the kind of pain you feel when someone you love breaks your heart. It was sort of a mass humiliation, a public failure. I felt like a fraud in my own house. I created something revolutionary, but revolution does not imply forward progress. I felt like a fraud because I wanted to make the world better.
But instead it turned on you.
Yes, it did.
And what about that other pain? Did you feel that too?
For a time. I had a friend.
The one, somebody who stuck by you through everything?
Yes, he did. Early on. He helped me with my work. Became my partner.
He must have really cared about you. To see what others wouldn't.
He understood that the outcome of my discovery was not what I intended. Or he pretended.
Something you want to tell me? Jason,
Sorry, man. What's up?
what's on your mind, man?
I don't know if I can really talk about it.
Why not?
It's that old doctor-patient privilege.
All right, come on. Just, don't tell me the dirty details. What's going on?
I just really wasn't prepared for today. This old patient of mine came in off the street. We've been talking for about a year. I didn't think anything of it. He's a normal enough guy. I mean, you know, normal in a certain light. But he sits down and in so many words he tells me that...
What? What, he's a robot? He's an alien?
He's from the future.
So he's crazy. Is this why you brought up the whole change in the
I've
pattern?
seen crazy before. This guy was very convincing.
All right, come on. What's his angle? Is he, trying to get money out of you or something?
Come on, man. Listen, just hear me out. I'm not an idiot, all right?
All right.
He just said some pretty scary stuff. Look, let's pretend this guy's the real deal. He comes in, tells me that the world's gonna go dark in a few years, and everything is severely screwed up. And that he came back because he wanted to see what he could do to change it. That's why I brought that thing up before. I just wanted to know what you would do.
If the world gets worse and worse over the next few years, then I'd say we had it coming. I mean, who are we to play God? What's done is done.
Yeah.
Man, you're really hooked on this.
What's up?
You need to take some time off. Spend some time with your wife. How's your marriage, Jason?
What do you mean, man? My marriage is fine.
You sure? I mean, all you do is you spend time with me playing basketball or at work.
Okay, what happened to rituals, man?
Come on, man. I love you. You're my best friend, but I mean, you have a pregnant wife at home with your first child. She loves you. And all you do is talk to me about work week after week.
I know.
Are you sure?
I just gotta get my head right. I will.
I don't want you to mess things up for yourself.
How can I mess things up with you in my corner?
Okay, but I can't fight all your battles for you.
I know. Especially in your condition. Jesus.
Really? Ass. I'm serious, though. I can't save your marriage for you.
Does that mean you're not gonna write me love sonnets anymore?
Nope. maybe for your birthday, maybe.
How do you do it, Doctor?
I'm sorry?
Manage your relationships. Surely your wife is lonely while you're here at work, dealing with colorful characters such as myself. What does she think of your chosen profession?
Our marriage has its problems, but... and they always do. She understands that this is my job and this is what supports us. And every relationship has its sacrifices.
What does she sacrifice for?
That's, yeah, I don't think that's any of your business.
How often do you see your friends?
Let's backtrack. I don't want to get derailed again. Let's talk about your partner. Now, he was probably closer to you than most people around you.
Yes, he was. He was one of the remnants of my life before everything changed. Although he was happy for me, he thought that I should sit back and enjoy the fruits of my labor with my family. But I could not sit still. I had to be involved in every adjustment, every refinement of what I'd given to the world.
Don't you mean what you had sold the world?
Sold. Yes. I had to be at every demonstration. I might as well have been government property.
As your partner stood by on the sidelines.
As everyone did. Everyone that was close to me. You know, in some ways, my partner was more naive than I was. Once the repercussions were being felt, no one could have imagined just how bad it was going to get. He was there to advise me, to comfort me even, to see me through the storm. Together we tried to pick up the pieces, try to undo what I had done.
Did any of it work?
No.
Why?
We tried to stop the mass consumerization of it, plead with the government. By this time, the damage was too severe. The technology was in too many hands, unsteady hands at that. We tried to make attempts to set things right, but it was futile. That's when I decided I have to go back. Somehow, some way, I had to go back. I fell deeper and deeper into my work, trying to push the boundaries of my initial discovery, to allow for actual travel, to send a man into the past. My partner pleaded with me to stop, but I couldn't. I needed to know if change was possible. That's around the time he turned on me.
Now, when you say he turned on you, he didn't merely cut you out of his life, did he?
Human beings were once again reduced to mindless barbarians, and I was responsible. We would have been better off if a meteor had struck and wiped the slate clean, or that a bomb had forced us to start all over again. But I did it. I actually did it, Doctor. See, viewing was only the beginning, but like a rudimentary computer, it only took time and development before a new model was born. You harness a wormhole, speed up one end and slow down the other end.
Go on, go on.
I can't.
Mr. Darnell, you realize...
Please, please, I can't. Let's leave it at this.
How does it work? How does it work?
You have to understand, if I answer that question, it could rip a hole through everything as we know it.
But that's why you're here, isn't it? To change the past, so you're gonna have to give me something.
Dr. Pyatt, I was under the impression it was never a good idea to force a patient to divulge anything they weren't comfortable with.
I can't, no, I can't keep doing this.
All right, all right. I know this must be frustrating. I can't give you everything. It just wouldn't be safe.
I'm listening.
You say you like science?
I do.
To go back and read the concepts presented by Hawking, Einstein, Lewis, light speed, black holes, wormholes. They were so close. There was just one small piece missing. I'm sure you're aware or somewhat familiar with the concept of wormholes.
Sure, yeah, they're fascinating to wonder about.
If you don't mind, could you tell me what you know?
They're a consequence of Einstein's theory of general relativity. A wormhole, in theory, would act as a shortcut or a passageway through space and time.
The physics are even simpler than your definition. A wormhole creates a tunnel, effectively cutting through two locations in space-time.
Yeah, therefore eliminating the need for three-dimensional travel through space. No more rocket ships. I like Stargate too.
Oh, wow, Stargate. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie. Who is that guy in it? He's really good in that old Western.
Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell, he was good, wasn't he?
Listen, nothing you're telling me is new information, right? The theories about wormholes have existed for a long time, but nobody knows if they actually exist or how to find them.
But I do. They're everywhere. Just a matter of seeing them and harnessing them.
But you haven't explained either. How do you see them? How do you harness them? A machine, some sort of gateway?
Of course you need a machine to sustain a wormhole. But this is where I stop. I have given you the gun. Let me keep the bullets.
Please continue.
I found a way to go back. I was alone, but I found it. My old partner was the only one that knew, but for now, it'll stay that way. The only question is, can the ripples I create be enough to change the future? Or create an alternate one?
Ripples?
Think of the water in that glass as time. Time moves forward constantly, untouched, as still as the water. Go back and try to change something, and it creates a ripple effect. Change has to catch up with time. And everything around it either changes or suffers.
Unless the ripples were always meant to happen.
That's what I want to find out. The truth is, he had every reason and every right to want me dead. I would have done it myself if I thought that would change anything.
Would you say you have suicidal tendencies?
I fear that ultimately I will have to pay for my sins with my life. I now am only here to set the wrong things right. My partner pursued me at great length once he knew what I had done. And as much as I felt it was on my shoulders to set everything right, he was convinced that anything I did to fix the present would continue to make matters worse.
Have you ever thought that he may be right?
He might be. I don't know yet. I think it's worth the risk. I'm just afraid of what lengths he might go to see his mission through.
And your wife? Did you lose her too?
You know that saying, you don't know what you've got until you lost it?
Sure.
When I was a young man, she kept me steady. I cannot remember the precise moment where it all fell apart. It was gradual, like a small-scale evolution. Just somewhere down the line, she realized I couldn't give her what she needed. I didn't even put up a fight. I apologized. Watched her walk away.
Did you love her?
Yes, I did.
And you just let her go?
I might not have loved her if she had stayed. How can I respect someone who stayed with someone that couldn't even respect themselves?
Well, I think if you love somebody, you make it work through anything. I think it's that simple. Have you ever considered you couldn't handle being there for her because you didn't want it, or you were afraid of it?
Dr. Pyatt, if you weren't sitting here talking to me right now, what would you be doing?
I'd be sitting here waiting for somebody else to talk to.
You wouldn't be home with your wife?
This is my job. It's what makes us money.
You're a psychologist without patience. That would explain that ridiculous brochure. No, you would be sitting here doing nothing. Because, doctor, this is your escape. By being here, you don't have to face your problems. You know what I'm saying is true. Maybe you have as much reason for being on that couch as I do.
You can't even begin to understand my situation.
Yes, I can.
Oh, well then by all means, don't stop there.
Relationships demand constant attention. I thought I understood that. It was only when my wife told me that she didn't love me anymore did I realize that I hadn't given enough of myself. Relationships demand constant attention or they fail. From someone I learned a little too late. Make her your priority over all things. Your passions, your job mean nothing in the face of love, true love. I've experienced a lot in my lifetime, both good and bad. You're a young man. You don't want to be pushing 80s, sitting in a psychologist's office, reminiscing about what you wish you had done differently. Trust me. One morning you wake up and forget to kiss your wife goodbye. And suddenly you can't remember the last time you
So I guess I'm gonna talk to you. 'Cause I think you can hear me. Feels like it's been a while since we talked. Tracy called this morning. I guess there might be a new temp agency I could sign on with, so there's some hope. Listen, no one knows how long it's gonna be until you wake up. My mom said she'd move in to help while you're away, but I'm really dreading that. So you need to come too. I need you. She does too. I've been alone a lot lately, without a job and you at work, and I've had a lot of time to think. I haven't done much else with my time. The bills keep piling up. And I notice how big the hole gets when you're gone. I miss you. But I just keep trying to piece together where everything went wrong. When did it get so bad for us? It doesn't seem like it's been 6 years. I remember I was working downtown and you came in early in the morning and your tooth was cracked in half. And you were freaking out. Your voice was so high-pitched. And we rushed you to the chair and the doctor turned the TV on to try to calm you down, but that didn't work. And we numbed you, but apparently not enough, because when I went to start working on your filling, you just screamed. And afterwards, you had the nerve to ask me out. You were still all swollen at the time, and you looked like a balloon. You sounded so ridiculous. What happened? And when we were dating, you used to come by work from time to time just to surprise me or say hello on your lunch break. Was it the baby? Does the responsibility scare you? When you come out of this, I want to start again. Because without you, our family doesn't work. God is so confused. And the police can't even identify the man who shot you. Ovid came by to check on me today. To see you. You really know how to choose your friends. He cares a lot for you, for us. I hope you realize that.
price of my ambition extended far beyond my wife, Doctor. It was everything. Where I'm from, there are no taxes, no IRS, no gas stations or fuel pumps, no warfare, no Ronald McDonald's, no shitty movies. We don't make those anymore. Humankind had acquired all the information they could ever desire, and it was maddening. Once you put the power of God into the people's hands, they don't believe in anything anymore but themselves.
So, are you a natural skeptic?
I haven't always been. Remember, I've seen what happens. I've seen men kill whole families because they didn't believe in their God. Politicians murder each other for control. Corporations playing chess with people's lives for a percentage. In a way, time has shown me that people are just fucking selfish. And I'm no different. Like Icarus, I flew too close to the sun. You gonna get that?
You can't expect any rational mind to believe that you're from the future.
I know, that's why I'm telling you.
You certainly can't expect me to believe what you're saying.
You must realize how important it is for you to keep an open mind. I imagine you've got something of a feel for me by this point. Surely you see that I have a sober mind. And despite the fact that I sincerely believe what I'm telling you here, I show no signs of lunacy.
I think it's still a bit early for a full diagnosis on that.
You're still trying to wrap your head around me, huh?
There are just a lot of questions that need to be asked. All right, so far, everything that you told me requires no shred of proof or any irrefutable data.
What do your instincts tell you?
Being a man of science myself, going on instincts is not something I commonly do.
Even if you don't believe I'm from the future, you can't ignore the plausibility of my story. And being a man of science, you must consider it. And this is where I get off.
Wait, what?
I've already allowed this conversation to go on too long.
Now hold on, man. I have sat here and listened to your stories, your lectures, your life lessons. I've sat here as this conversation became far more than a therapy session. You can't play games with people like this.
I'm sorry.
That's it?
That's all I have. Your life may have been easier had I not entered it. But if you don't mind, I selfishly will cherish the talks we've had. You've reminded me of a world that's worth it. And I'm grateful. You ever hear fools walk in where angels fear to tread?
No, I got it.
No, man.
No, lunch is on me.
I appreciate it.
No problem. Oh, hey, thank you.
Hey, I'm sorry about earlier. I mean, you were totally right about everything you said.
I know.
And I promise you'll see less of me.
Good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
What?
Today was just so crazy. I can't get it out of my head.
It definitely doesn't happen every day, but take my advice. Separate your work life from your home life. You know, when you married Evie, you made a commitment. I mean, you had your chance to bail out.
I don't want to bail out. I love her.
Then why don't you do something tonight to show her?
Shit. Gotta put the gas bill in the mail.
It's not exactly what I meant, but...
No. I just remembered, though, but I know what you mean. I will.
Let me know how it goes.
Yeah, sure, I'll film it for you.
Really?
No, man, what does it matter with you?
I just haven't had a lot of time for a sex life lately. I mean, gotta take what I can get.
All right, man, I'm gonna head home.
All right.
I'll catch you later.
You give the missus the best for me, okay?
I will.
Hey, you know, give her a kiss for me.
Always.
Yeah, nice, big, juicy one. That wasn't very nice.
For my wife.
Okay. Anniversary, birthday?
Got a little makeup.
Been there before. We're right over here.
Let's go with the red.
Sounds good. Got a nice assortment here that actually somebody backed out on. So it's already got the baby's breath, a nice green mix all with it.
Yeah, how much is that?
$59.99.
Let's do it.
Okay. I've actually got some change for that right now. Awesome. There's 40.
Thanks so much, man.
Yeah, feel free to look around. I'm just going to set these down for you.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks again.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Let me go. Let me go.
No. Give me a chance. I'm here. I'm gonna fix this.
You've ruined everything, Jason.
If you're so goddamn smart, what are you doing here?
It's the only way.
Making it worse.
It's the only way.
Please, just give me a chance. I can fix it.
Get out of my way or I will put you down.
Oh, sorry.
This is where it ends. Right here, right now.
Yeah, good night. Hey, oh, hey, watch the elevator's really slow today.
Does it ever go faster?
Good night.
with that device. With that device. That device. With the singular formula for quantum gravity, we can harness the combined collection of wormholes to lead through space itself. And with that previous formula secured, we can eliminate three-dimensional travel through space at the fraction of the energy thought to be required for it.
Jason, please tell me what's happening. I'm in the dark. Who were those men, and why did he shoot at you? Please.
Please. Try to keep an open mind. Okay. Do you remember where I took you for our second date?
Yeah?
Tell me, please.
At Gasworks Park on the big hill, and you wanted to show me the stars.
Do you remember what I said to you there before I kissed you?
Jason, I don't understand what...
I looked up. I looked up at the sky. And I said, Evelyn, this is my canvas. And the possibilities. Oh, the possibilities are endless. I see them now. And the possibilities? The possibilities are laid out in front of me like a pattern of stars.
What happened? What happened to you?
That man with a gun. Okay? He wasn't a bad man.
He tried to kill you, Jason.
That was Ovid.
What?
That was Ovid.
Ovid, our friend Ovid, your best
Yeah.
man, Ovid?
Yeah. He came
Jason,
back.
Jason, how is that
He
possible?
came back. He's Ovid. 50 years from now. Okay, today a patient of mine came into my office. We've been talking for about a year, and I didn't think anything of it. But he told me a fantastical story about a man who made an amazing discovery that changed everything, but it didn't change it for the better. It made everything worse. It made it much worse. And I knew he wasn't crazy. But I couldn't believe what he was saying because I couldn't accept it to be true. But it was. It is.
The other man in the hallway, that was him.
Yeah.
Well, who was he?
It was me.
I don't understand.
Please. Just try to keep an open mind, okay? He came back to warn me about the future. Hey. This is one of the most difficult moments of my life. This thing could fix everything. It could solve all of our problems instantly. And we'd have money. We'd have freedom. We'd have time. Look at my jacket. Look at my jacket.
Look at the inside pocket. Look closer. Look closer.
Is this a joke? So what, you discovered a way to...
Yeah.
Jason, I want to believe you. I really
Please believe me. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy.
You better not be.
I mean, maybe after Logan's born, but...
I don't think Sky will give us that much trouble. Do you?
No, of course not. Oh, Keith. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I haven't been there. I haven't been there at all. I'm sorry. It's gonna be different, okay? It's gonna be different. It's gonna be different. It's all gonna be different. Oh.
So, what do we do now? I mean, I guess we have to call someone, right? I mean, someone has to do some tests on this discovery, or... I mean, you have to have someone confirm it before you sell it, right?
No, I don't think I can.
What do you mean?
I don't think I can do it, Eve. I don't think I can do it.
I don't understand. You just sat there and told me that this would fix all our problems.
I did.
Well, am I missing something?
You didn't hear what he said, okay? You didn't hear what he said. This thing destroys everything.
Well, if this is all true, I mean, how could you turn your back on it? You said yourself this is an amazing discovery.
Why would my best friend want to kill me? Why would he want me dead? Now, if this is the chance to go back and make this thing right,
this would fix everything, Jason. We need that money. We need it badly.
We'll get the money. We'll get through this. This is it.
And, I mean, what, are we just gonna keep this to ourselves? I mean, the world should know about this.
There are some things the world should never know.
But Jason, I think that if
Do you trust me?
Jason, if
Do you trust me? You trust me?
Yes.
Then please. Just try to understand that I can't do this.
Get some sleep. We'll leave in the morning.
look at you. Walking around already. You'll be back on that basketball court in no time. Doctor? Hey, you there?
Yeah, sorry. Just a bit fuzzy.
Well, we're lucky that's all it is. They're worried we're gonna lose you for a minute there.
Yeah, not this time.
Got a little. All right. Come on now. I got it. Thank you.
You ready?
Jason?
Well, I don't have any patients again today. I will put it in the mail at lunch. Do you have any severance money left?
Yeah. A couple hundred. I was thinking of saving it for Sky's crib.
Hey, good thinking, sweetie. Because Logan's gonna need a good crib.
Are you sure you can't stay?
I'm already late, babe. Hey, everything's gonna be okay.
Do you have to go today?
We play every Wednesday Eve.
Did you pay the gas bill yesterday?
I thought you put that in the mail.
I said I'd wait to see how much money you brought home.